Hello everybody, this is Johns Hopkins with Baltimore Heritage, and we're back with another of our 5-Minute Histories videos. And today I'm at 6 East Eager Street in the Mount Vernon neighborhood, once the home of a gentleman named William Marburg, today called City House, and the home of a number of local Baltimore businesses and firms. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. Usually I'm on the outside of whatever building we're talking about. Today I'm on the inside, and that's because I've been inside before and I know how gorgeous the rooms are in here, and I thought that it would be a real shame if we did a video and didn't at least try to get inside and show some of the interior. Luckily for us, the folks at City House let me in, and even more lucky, we have one of them, Julia Kazmowski, who's going to join me in a second on this video to talk about the building, the restoration work that they've done, what's going on here. But before I turn it over to Julia, let's just talk a little bit about this building, starting with who was this William Marburg who built a 16,000 square foot, I'll say, mansion here in Mount Vernon. Well, he was born just before the Civil War, I think 1849. He was the son of William Marburg, yes, the same name, who had started a tobacco company, Marburg Brothers, that was doing very well. Young William, at the age of 16, entered the business world, not in tobacco, but with a fruit importer. But after just a little while, he switched over and started working with his father's firm. By 1891, I think the dad had died and the brothers had taken over the firm, and they were doing very well. And then they sold out to American Tobacco. If you haven't heard of American Tobacco, think of the tobacco tycoon J.B. Duke. Think of one of the first 12 companies listed on the New York Stock Exchange. That was American Tobacco. The Marburg family did very well by the sale of their company to American Tobacco. William became a vice president for a while, and then a few years later decided it was time that he retire. Luckily for us, he retired but stayed in Baltimore. He was an enormous philanthropist. He gave to lots of causes, including the still young Hopkins Hospital. If you've ever been to the fabulous Marburg building, that's William and his family donating money in honor of their brother Charles. And incidentally, that was the first building at Hopkins to have private rooms. So if you've ever been to Hopkins Hospital, had to go there and had a private room, that's where that all stems from. William did not give away all his money, though. In fact, he spent a ton of it building this house. He did so in 1906. That's when it was completed. And he turned to one of the most prominent architects of the day, William Evans Sperry, as his architect. If you are not an architect buff or an architectural historian, I still bet you know at least one of Sperry's other works, and that's the Bromo-Seltzer Tower. You may also know he did Oheb Shalom's Temple on Utah Place and the fabulous St. Mark's Church in the Old Goucher neighborhood. Those are all his. And so Evans Sperry and Marburg set out to do this building in a big way. And there was a lot of it to do in a big way. With 16,000 square feet, they put in 12, and I'm going to get all these right, 12 marble fireplaces, stained glass windows. The woodwork here is mahogany from the Philippines, not one but two stained glass skylights, and the front built out of Indiana limestone. A couple other neat things in here. The building was completed in 1906, just after the 1904 fire, and they tried to make it as fireproof as they could, including building in 14-inch thick concrete and steel floors. So the building is solid, and I bet pretty fireproof. I'm going to stop there, though, and turn it over to Julia Kazmowski from City House to say a little bit about the building and what's going on. Julia, we are all yours.
So the restoration work that took place in the parlor of our building was done by Hayes and Howell, this really great group who worked countless hours going through the plasterwork on the ceiling, creating molds of it, detailed kind of repairs to each of the little florets. So they did a lot of work to make this ceiling, and it's breathtaking, bringing it back to its original glory. We also had a lot of great vendors that worked on other aspects of the building. For example, we have a lot of marble. We have 12 marble fireplaces, like John's mentioned, and the marble was restored by Hillgranter, another company in Baltimore. We also have many stained glass windows in our foyer area. That was completed by Williams Glass, who spent a lot of time just cleaning the actual stained glass. The stained glass skylight that is in the foyer here was completely blacked out when we purchased the building, that you didn't even know it was there. It was also starting to bellow in slightly just from not being taken care of over the years. So we are really grateful to these vendors that worked on the building over that 1.5 years and brought it back to its original beauty. My favorite part of the building is our elevator. So the elevator we have here was built with the building when it was completed in 1906, and it shows it on the original blueprints, which is really unique because at the time, there weren't many people who had elevators in their homes. And our elevator is very special because it still operates. It operates off the original drum, original mechanics, and it's one of the very few left in the country that are still operating. So we are home to the oldest operating automatic elevator that was put in a residence based off of that 1906 benchmark. We do have a few competitors out there. The Baltimore is one. They have 2 elevators like ours, but they were built in the late 1800s, I want to say 1890s, but they are manual elevators. So somebody has to be in the elevator operating it with a key. Ours operates all on its own, just like a modern day elevator would. You press the button, it goes to the floor. Still pretty quick, even though it's a little bit older. It's not something you get to see every day. Today, City House is home to many different businesses. We have folks in communications, real estate, finance, and they all have offices in this building. We also have folks who are members of the building, so they don't have a specific office, but they utilize common space and co-working space in the building. So it's a great option if you are a remote worker. It's a really quiet and also engaging environment to get work done.